Welcome to the Nonno Giorgio and Rory Cooking Italian for Weight Loss channel. We have entrees, desserts, tips and tricks. We welcome you to our channel. We hope you make some of these recipes, enjoy them with your friends and family. Please like our video by checking the little thumbs up. That way you let us know you enjoyed it. Please subscribe by hitting the subscribe button, then the bell and all. This will ensure that you get all of our new videos. Today we're going to talk about vegetables. You should have a variety of vegetables and they should be dark in color.
Hey there.
Hi, welcome back to the Nonno Giorgio and Rory Cooking Italian for Weight Loss channel. And today we're not going to do a recipe, we're going to do something a little bit different. Rory had this idea of showing a bunch of different vegetables. And the idea is you should be expanding your taste, getting into things you haven't tried. Especially if you're vegan or a vegetarian and you're cutting out meat, try putting different types of vegetables. The darker the color, the healthier the vegetable is for you.
So we're thinking that one of the problems with speaking vegetables is the name. And for some people, the word vegetables is almost like offensive or not fun, but vegetables are a fabulous thing. Veggies is a nice other name for it, but we wanted to ask you all to give us some idea about what to call these things, a different name for vegetables, and we would use it in our videos if you come up with one that's really good, and we would give you one of our cookbooks as a prize. So if you can think of something else to call vegetables, let us know. Let us know what your favorite vegetables are and how you use them. Let's do a real vegetable talk. And
write your comments below the video.
Yeah.
Let us know what kind of vegetables you eat. Tell us what you hate. Tell us what you love. All of us grew up with different backgrounds and different vegetables, and the ones we're going to talk about today, some of you probably know all of them and have experience with them. Others may know some but not others. So we're going to talk a little bit about what they are, how to cook them, and in the terms of the avocado, how to cut it open properly and so on. Okay.
All right. Okay, so we're going to start with this very interesting architectural thing, which I love. And I just became familiar with this a few years ago because I was on a diet, which I often was, and this is a diuretic. And so I became familiar with it. It tastes like licorice a little bit. It's used in, I believe, Eastern European cooking quite a bit, and German cooking. And it is just very aromatic and flavorful. You can slice it. You can use the green tendril parts to throw into stews. And it's very good with fish and meat. We feature this vegetable in our cioppino recipe, and
the vegetable's called fennel.
Thank you.
And in Italian it's finocchio.
Pinocchio, like Pinocchio?
Like Pinocchio.
So fennel, I'm sorry I didn't tell you what it was called. Thank you, George. So use this, and you can fry it, or I don't know, if I've never used it boiled, except in our cioppino it's sort of boiled.
It's really good on a grill.
Oh.
You slice them like Rory said, from the bottom up, and then put them on your grill. You might need a little grate so they don't fall through, but They're really, really good grilled.
Wonderful to know. So make fennel one of your new friends, I say. Okay. And then some of you who are Italian may be familiar with this beautiful vegetable. It's called broccolini rabe, or in Italian,
Broccoli rabe.
Yeah.
The Italian Americans call it broccoli rabe. The Italians, broccoli rabe.
yeah. And now this one you can boil, right, George?
You can boil. I prefer it sautéed with lots of garlic and olive oil.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. And do you have it just by itself sometimes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great that way.
So you can look for the label. If you're not sure what, if you can recognize it, it'll tell you on most labels. And try that one too. And then you all may be familiar with this beauty. It's bok choy, and it's widely used in Chinese cooking. So here's the thing. When you're doing these very heavy stems and then thin leaves, sometimes it's better to introduce the cut up stems early on so they cook longer. It's like when you're cooking broccoli. If you cook the broccoli stems and the flowers, then you need to cook the stems a little longer. So that's the case with bok choy. Bok choy is fairly bland. It doesn't add a whole lot of flavor, but it has a wonderful texture.
And it's good in soups.
Yes, exactly. I think we just put it in the last soup we made.
And we have a picture that we'll put in with the video here that we did.
Yeah, we did just recently in a soup we made, a lentil soup. Our recipe is in the cookbook. And the vegetable is chard. Now,
Swiss chard?
there are many different chards. There's red chard, white chard. My mother always called it Swiss chard. I grew up with Swiss chard. Very similar to bok choy. And you can put it in everything. These are wonderful edibles.
This is Swiss chard or red chard.
So next we have asparagus, and there's a runaway one. And asparagus you're probably fairly familiar with. One thing about asparagus, if you get the thin ones, they go from very thin stems to very thick. They're very delicate vegetables, so you don't want to overcook it. And they're quite flavorful. These usually you can just boil.
You can boil, you can saute them. Also, why don't you pick one up, Rory, and show them how we break it. If you just hold the top and the bottom and just let it break, sometimes a big chunk of the bottom will come off and sometimes just a little.
So they're very easy to prep and enjoy. You can also just serve them with olive oil, salt and pepper, and lemon juice, and they're wonderful that way. So we use these also in egg dishes and risotto. We cut it into chunks, and you can use it with quiche. We recently made a quiche with them as well. So lots of ways to enjoy them. They cook very fast. So if you put them in a flat pan to boiling water, 2 or 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, and you want, on all your vegetables, you want to eat them as al dente as you can because the nutrients are still in them. If you overboil, first of all, you're going to get a soggy vegetable, and kids aren't going to like it, adults aren't going to like it. And that's why I think vegetables get such a bad rep, because they've been classically overcooked. But when you cook them properly, all your nutrients are still in it. And the one exception we have is when you use vegetables in soup, because where do the nutrients go? They go into the soup and you eat it. So you get your nutrients there. Well
said. Okay, the next star of our show is Brussels sprouts, and again we've got a video showing you how to easily prepare these. Look at this beautiful thing. It looks like a tiny cabbage, doesn't it?
And we usually take the very end, the hard part where it connects, and cut it off. And then we cut it in half and take the outer leaf off. And then you can boil them, you can saute them. What they're also is they're wonderful under the broiler. We have a cereal container with a tight lid, and we'll put the halves in there. We put some olive oil and your seasonings, maybe some garlic, some salt, some pepper, some hot pepper, and we shake it up so they're all coated. And then we dump them out on parchment paper on a cookie sheet and put them under the broiler. And this has become popular in local bars here. People are just getting into Brussels sprouts. It's great.
It's a wonderful thing. So for today, we're now at our last star of the show, which is avocados.
And this is a Hass avocado. And you can see that it's kind of pear-shaped, fat at one end and narrow. I cut the very end on both sides off, just slightly, so you get the stem out. And then I cut it in half lengthwise all around. And you're left with the two halves. If the avocado feels a little soft, it's good. If it feels rock hard, it's not good. And a funny story, before I really knew what I was doing with avocados, I was living in California, and out there everything is avocados. So I just love them. And I bought avocados, but I didn't know how to buy them. So all my avocados were rock hard. So when I cut them, I had a hard time cutting them because they're so hard, they're like a rock. I had a hard time getting the stem or the stone out. And then I said, oh, I guess they put them in a blender to make like guacamole. I put them in the blender and they were so hard they were bouncing off the blades. So you want to make sure, if you're going to use them right away, buy some that feel a little soft. If they're very soft, they could be like butter. They could be wonderful, or they could be starting to turn and they'll get brown inside. And remember our video on guacamole, when you cut the avocado, if you're going to keep it for a short period of time, keep the stone in with the avocado pieces because they won't turn brown as fast. It's a good trick to have.
Okay, so for today, these are the stars of the show, and we've already showed you how to use them and what they're about, and I hope you will.
And some of them have been in recipes that we've already done.
Yeah.
We're going to do other recipes as we go along, so you can get recipes from our channel, but we wanted to bring you these wonderful vegetables and have you give feedback to us. What's your favorite vegetable?
Yeah. And think of a better name than vegetables and let us know.
We hope you have enjoyed our channel. If you have, please hit the subscribe button below and the bell next to it so you get notified of new videos when they come out.